Um, so let's take a look at this stuff. So these are operations that we can perform on variables. The equal sign, when you have just a single equal sign, it does not mean equals. It's something to assign other things to variables. So it sets a variable to a formula. That means so this equals I would normally say gets. So side length gets 3. That means you're taking 3 and you're putting it into side length. So it's an assignment operation. So side length gets 3. That's so you're assigning stuff. Plus equals means that you're adding something and then putting it back into a variable. I'll write an example of that. So if I create some kind of counter variable, this is just made up. It's some variable. It's an integer. I created an integer. I mean the rest of the code is not right, but if I created an integer and I say I wanted to add, so I say plus equals 3. Then what this is going to do? Well, let's start it out here. If I create an integer and I put the number 3 in it, and then I say count gets plus equals 7. So what does this do? This takes count, it adds 7 to it, and it stores it back in count. There's another way that you could do this. So actually, if I printed this out to the screen, I would get 10, right? Well, I suppose I don't need to, I can just say that. So if I printed this out to the screen, count would now have the number 10 in it because I took 3 and I added 7 and then I also assigned it back into count. I could also do the same thing if I just typed count gets count plus 7. Those are the same thing. This is just a lot quicker to write. So programs usually use this shortcut. It is a shortcut. So these two things mean the same thing. And that goes for all of these operations. Minus equals, same idea. You would take something, you would take the variable, subtract whatever it says here, and then store it back in the variable. So just know that stuff. Same with all of these. You're taking a variable, multiplying it by some number, and then putting it back. Same with this. Plus plus increases the variable by 1. So if I had like count plus plus, that's all I would write. I would just say count plus plus. Well, not an extra semicolon. And that's doing the same thing as count gets count plus 1. So this is just a shortcut for this. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And then same with decreasing. Count minus minus would be count gets count minus 1. Hopefully that makes sense. We can continue. You should play around with this code. Side length gets 3, height length gets 4, perimeter gets side length. So in this variable, well, we not initialized, but created these variables. They're integers called side length, height, length, and perimeter. You can create all these variables all at once by doing this using a comma. And then we assigned the perimeter just whatever the side length was. So right now perimeter has 3 in it. And then you're printing out this is the side length. Okay, plus perimeter. So we're printing out perimeter, but that's the same thing as side length. We're going to change perimeter. I think that's multiplication. So it'll be 3 times 2 put back into perimeter, which is 6. And then you'll print out perimeter. Twice the side length is 6. Twice the side length is whatever the perimeter is. So hopefully this makes sense. And then this is the output there. Let's move on. This will be, I'll save this for another video.